Hey, Shop Talkers, welcome to Shop Talk 360 Chats. So excited to introduce to you my dear friend, Marilyn Brennan, Vice President of National Accounts with Coming Signs. Hi, Marilyn.
Hey, Grace. So good to see your face.
So good to see your face too. So now, share with us a little bit of how your day's looking like since we're in the midst of this pandemic. How has it changed, and what's your day-to-day like now?
So, I've always worked remotely. So my normal day to day, my environment hasn't changed. But when you get zero time to connect with people face to face, it really kind of changes your, I don't say motivation or your drive, but I draw energy off of people. So if I don't have that kind of face to face travel, trade shows, it can definitely start to become very different when you're working, even when you're used to working remote and doing Zoom and things like this. But I think the biggest thing is just how we communicate now, because we are experiencing so many losses in employment, businesses shutting down temporarily or indefinitely, and there's just a sensitivity to all of it, and a concern for my friends in the industry and people that we've met over the years. And you're worried about their employment and their livelihood, and you're worried about the companies that you work with. So yeah, I think it's just it's more somber, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
every day.
Mm-hmm.
And me personally, our company is still up and running. We've been able to continue business, and we are actually pretty busy with some C-stores and grocery stores. And then some of our other sectors, like the hospitality industry, came to a crashing halt. And it's just the way it is. So we were
Sure.
diversified enough, but it's a lot of the work that was really going to happen this year has become much slower. So it's just a different kind of energy. I would say it's more somber, and just a much less activity.
Your turn to ask me a question.
Awesome. So I know, I attend events and some of your functions, and they're just awesome. What are you seeing with the vibe out there and the overall industry? People being concerned. Obviously, everything shut down retail wise and restaurants other than takeout. What are your thoughts on where things are going to be in 30 days and 60 days?
Well, with today where we're at, we're hoping that New York is starting to level off. So that's a good sign. But we know that there's going to be some hot spots throughout the country, and I kind of feel like it's been like a 9-week incline to get to this point. It's going to probably be at least another 8 to 9 weeks on the downside, on the decline. It's kind of weird because I kind of feel like I just still have this very uncomfortable feeling, and we're waiting for the other shoe to drop. So many colleagues have lost their jobs, they've been furloughed, and everyone just has to kind of sit tight, and it's almost kind of like a forced pause, like forced reset button for everyone. I think everyone's just being super cautious. We'll see how we fare with, there's been a lot of discussion with the government wanting to reopen for work or for business, and possibly in May, they said. And I think it's prudent business-wise, as long as there is more testing so we know who has already been exposed, because it's always about life safety.
Knowing.
Right?
Yeah, and I think it's about knowing. I think the more we know, the better, more comfortable we'll be going out into places. If we know that, hey, we've been exposed and we're fine, or, when we do get exposed, we, kind of self-quarantine ourselves. And yeah, I think information is important, and it will be the thing that calms a lot of the concerns.
Yep, and I am also hearing that, there's just a lot of information out there. So there's, information coming from the doctors and science, information coming from government, and sometimes that doesn't always match up. It'll be interesting once we're over the hump more and things pan out more and level off. So
unfortunately, unlike a flu that we have, seen and tracked for years and have vaccines against, even though there's some different strains, this is something that took us all by surprise. We had no idea how to combat it, really. And I don't think we're going to have really good reflection until next year, until we can look back and say, okay, do more studies, more labs, more studies about how, it transfers. How easy is it to protect yourself? We know, I mean, do you think maybe we're all going to be like those people in the airports with masks going forward? I don't
And you
know. It may
know,
never change. I think
yeah.
in the next, I do have gloves on order. I'm patiently waiting from Amazon because I figure, that's probably going to be something that's a norm, like for us travelers.
Hmm.
Um, Airports where people are in and out from all over the places. You don't know if they're, in a hot spot that's happening or reoccurrence place. So I think it's going to change the way, we all felt very, I would say, untouchable to a point, but I think
Yeah,
now
sure.
industry, we gather, that's going to be interesting. We gather in large groups. There's going to be probably a lot more, hand sanitizers and different things, and just the way we conduct, business in general. So, yeah, I think it's going to take a while till we can look back and really see what worked, what didn't work, and how to, combat it better. So once we have that, I think people will start to feel better
Yep.
about zooming normally.
Yeah, and there is a process involved. You can't
Mhm.
rush that. We'll see. And I kind of agree with you that to get truer understanding of what we're dealing with probably is not going to come until early next year.
Yeah, I agree. I think, the best bet you can do is try to figure out, transference and hotspots and,
Hmm.
making sure that we're covered with enough ventilators and beds in hospitals. And, that's anything you can do is just be prepared, to be able to kind of take care of the people that get sick. I mean, I don't think you're going to be able to prevent it from passing along. I mean, we know we can't right now.
Sure.
So mitigating the outcome is all we can do.
Yep.
But this industry is resilient. They've been through every time there's a financial, crisis, our industry gets hit. We go through, those ebbs and flows, and construction and new construction malls. We thought brick and mortar was dead. It's just, we just kind of, the one thing I think that's really hopeful about our industry is that we are just so good at kind of, modifying what we do and learning and morphing into the next phase. And
Hmm.
I think that's hopeful. So
Hmm.
I always try to be hopeful.
Yep.
Um,
I like
that
that positive attitude. Yeah,
yeah, we'll get there.
we will.
Yeah.
Adapting.
Hmm.
Okay, so and maybe you already kind of shared with us already with what you just said, but so what is your mantra to get you by the next few months?
I think my mantra from a professional standpoint would be, that we are strong and resilient, and we will overcome this. And I
Hmm.
think personally, the same way we all have personal, people that we're worried about. I just, you have to accept the things that you can't change and just be prepared to, handle them in the best way you can, whether it's the loss of a family member, the illness. And I'm a project manager by trade, so I'm in planning mode all the time. And
Hmm.
I already have my plan B and C if anybody gets sick, and what I'm doing, because I am, several states away from an elderly mother and a son who has asthma. So I'm on standby to hop on the next plane. So that's all you can do is just kind of stay focused on and be smart and do the right thing, and not yell at the people that don't give you social distancing as much as you want to. I'm like, can you please stop
I know.
encroaching?
Sure,
It's
sure.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
amazing how many people just don't, they're in their own heads and they kind of charge forward. But, so I think some of the positive things that have come out is what we're doing right now with Zoom, both
Hmm.
personally and professionally. I think it's great. I do see that we are all, as much as people like to say that we're kind of, in our own worlds and we are in our phones. It's amazing how many people have reached out and how many times that, we want to FaceTime or Zoom together because you miss that human contact
Oh,
and
absolutely.
appreciate it so much more. I know you and I are, well, we would be classified as extroverts, but even the introverts are saying like, I need to talk to people, and it's different than texting. Getting to do this face to face and
Hmm.
hear your, real time is what people really are all about, and I think it's making us appreciate it more. So
Yeah.
I did a Zoom party with my whole family for my daughter's birthday,
Oh,
and yeah, it
well,
was
happy
pretty.
belated birthday to your daughter.
Yeah. So it was, I felt bad because I couldn't be with her, and but we had the whole family on, and
Mm.
it's great. It's great that people are embracing technology to stay connected. So, and I think our industry is, always good at that, and we'll figure it out with trade shows and gatherings, and we'll keep evolving. We're doing a
Yeah.
lot of online, virtual meetings, and
Hmm.
different things, and there's a lot to learn from too in this. this time right now in our professional,
Absolutely.
what
Absolutely.
to do, what can we do better, permitting, offices that are closed, sharing information, doing virtual inspections, just things that, we never had to deal with before. So it could, innovation can come out of this, which would be the positives to take out of
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Just love the fact that it is kind of like a whole reset pause button, and everyone's on that pause with you. So it's
it.
not
Yes,
like you go on vacation, you come back and you have like 1,000 emails.
yeah.
Everyone's just,
It's like one big snow day, but
yeah,
it's lasts a lot longer than a day. Yeah. No, I agree. It's like everybody's off. Right. You're right. You're not on vacation and then you have that person who sent you 100 emails. So I agree. Everybody is in the same mode. So everybody, and I love watching the people that are working from home with the kids because God love them because I am by myself, which is good. But when you see those toddlers and people feeding babies while they're having virtual meetings or
oh, that's
emailing, and
great.
it is. It's just, it's amazing how people are doing it. And then the ones that are trying to homeschool at the same time. What a
Wow.
challenge.
Yeah, yeah.
They're gonna be so excited to get back to work like nobody.
I know. They're going
Trying
to
to
go back to work to get rest.
exactly. Yeah. So, I think it'll make people appreciate teachers. It's gonna make people appreciate
Absolutely.
all the things that we to kind of take for granted sometimes. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's toilet paper. We take it for granted,
Yep.
so now, so yeah, no, I think, I'm trying to be positive and, I think, business wise, we want to be, right now we're taking the extra time since some people are just not doing much, to work on marketing initiatives and,
Hmm.
what are things
Hmm.
we can add so when we do come back, that we have some new things to talk about and show people. So,
Okay.
those are good things to do.
All right. Well, this was fun chatting with you, as it always is, Marilyn. Love your bubbly energy. Let's definitely regroup in a couple of weeks and chat again. Thank you so
Great.
much for
Great
joining
talking to
us,
you.
and we'll see you soon, hopefully.
Absolutely. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks, Marilyn.
Bye.